Hi, Brody. It's story time again. Time for a little bit more about Winnie the Pooh. Remember, we left him when we were last reading, hanging down from the balloon, pretending to be a cloud in the sky, and getting a little afraid that the bees were becoming suspicious. So, we'll take it from there and read some more. Snodgrass and Dr. Leo and Little Buck are ready too. Well, there we were, and there was another little silence because Winnie the Pooh had just said that the bees might be afraid that he's after their honey. He says, "You never can tell with bees." There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. "Christopher Robin?" "Yes." "Have you an umbrella in your house?" "I think so." "I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, 'Tut, tut, it looks like rain.' I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees." Well, you laughed to yourself, silly old bear. But you didn't say it out loud because you were so fond of him and you went home for your umbrella. "Oh, there you are," called down Winnie the Pooh as soon as you got back to the tree. "I was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious." "Shall I put my umbrella up?" you said. "Yes, but wait a moment. We must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there?" "No." "A pity. Well, now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying, 'Tut, tut, it looks like rain,' I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go." And there's Christopher Robin, and he's going to walk up and down underneath that umbrella. And Winnie the Pooh is going to sing a bee song. So while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. "How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud." There he is. "How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud." The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them, indeed, left their nest and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of this song. And one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment and then got up again. "Christopher, oh, Robin," called out the cloud. "Yes?" "I have just been thinking and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees." "Are they?" "Quite the wrong sort. So I should think that they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you?" "Would they?" "Yes. So I think I shall come down." "How?" asked you. Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall. Bump! And he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then he said, "Christopher Robin, you must shout the balloon, you must shoot the balloon with your gun." "Have you got your gun?" "Of course I have," you said. "But if I do that, it will spoil the balloon," you said. "But if you don't," said Pooh, "I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me." wrong sort of bee. When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. Ow! Said Pooh. Did I miss? You asked. You didn't exactly miss, said Pooh, but you missed the balloon. I'm so sorry, you said, and you fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down to the ground. But his arms were so stiff from holding on to the string of the balloon all that time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week. And whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. And I think, but I am not sure, that is why he was always called Pooh. Is that the end of the story? Asked Christopher Robin. That's the end of that one. There are others about Pooh and me and Piglet and Rabbit and all of you. Don't you remember? I do remember, and then when I try to remember, I forget. That day when Pooh and Piglet tried to catch the heffalump, they didn't catch it, did they? No, Pooh couldn't, because he hasn't any brain. Did I catch it? Well, that comes into the story. Christopher Robin nodded. I do remember, he said. Only Pooh doesn't very well, so that's why he likes having it told to him again. Because when it's a real story, and not, because then it's a real story and not just a remembering. That's just how I feel, I said. Christopher Robin gave a deep sigh, picked his bear up by the leg, and walked off to the door, trailing Pooh behind him. At the door he turned and said, Coming to see me have my bath? He's got a really big bathtub, hasn't he? It goes all the way up to his shoulders. I might, I said. I didn't hurt him when I shot him, did I? Not a bit. He nodded and went out, and in a moment I heard Winnie the Pooh, bump, 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 going up the stairs behind him. That's the end of that particular story. And next time, we're going to have a story about how Pooh goes visiting and gets into a tight place. You'll like this story too. Good night, Brody. Good night, Brody. Good night, Brody. Good night, Brody.